The Paris gun, German, Paris-Geschütz or Pariser Kanone, was the name given to a type of German long-range siege gun, several of which were used to bombard Paris during World War I. They were in service from March to August 1918. When the guns were first employed, Parisians believed they had been bombed by a high-altitude Zeppelin, as the sound of neither an aeroplane nor a gun could be heard. The Paris gun was a weapon like no other, but its capabilities are not known with full certainty. This is due to the weapon's apparent total destruction by the Germans in the face of the final Allied offensives. Figures stated for the weapon's size, range, and performance varied widely depending on the source. Not even the number of shells fired is certain. The gun was capable of firing a 106 kg, 234 pounds, shell to a range of 130 kilometers, 81 miles, and a maximum altitude of 42.3 kilometers, 26.3 miles, the greatest height reached by a human-made projectile until the first successful V-2 flight test in October 1942. At the start of its 182-second trajectory, each shell from the Paris gun reached a speed of 1,640 meters per second, 5,400 feet/s. 7 barrels were constructed. They used worn-out 38 cm SKL/45 max gun barrels that were fitted with an internal tube that reduced the caliber from 380 mm, 15 in, to 210 mm, 8 in. The tube was 21 meters, 69 feet, long and projected 3.9 meters, 13 feet, out of the end of the gun, so an extension was bolted to the old gun muzzle to cover and reinforce the lining tube. A further, 12-meter-long smoothbore extension was attached to the end of this, giving a total barrel length of 34 meters, 112 feet. The gun was fired from the forest of Coucy and the first shell landed at 7:18 a.m. on March 21, 1918 on the Quai de la Seine, the explosion being heard across the city. Shells continued to land at 15-minute intervals, with 21 counted on the first day. The initial assumption was these were bombs dropped from an airplane or Zeppelin flying too high to be seen or heard. But within a few hours, sufficient casing fragments had been collected to show that the explosions were the result of shells, not bombs. By the end of the day, military authorities were aware the shells were being fired from behind German lines by a new long-range gun, although there was initially wild press speculation on the origin of the shells. As military weapons, the Paris guns were not a great success. The payload was small, the barrel required frequent replacement, and the gun's accuracy was only good enough for city-sized targets. The German objective was to build a psychological weapon to attack the morale of the Parisians, not to destroy the city itself. After World War I, a K-12 railway gun elevated to the firing position under the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, the Germans were required to turn over a complete Paris gun to the Allies, but they never complied with this. In the 1930s, the German army became interested in rockets for long-range artillery as a replacement for the Paris gun, which was specifically banned under the Versailles Treaty. This work would eventually lead to the V-2 rocket that was used in World War II.